All right, after 2 decades of drought, Utah's most popular boating area has just dipped below a very critical threshold.
Lake Powell's historically low level is raising worries for boaters as well as for millions of people who depend on the Glen Canyon Dam for electricity.
The forecast says the odds are good for a slight recovery in the month of June, but as Science and Nature specialist John Hollenhorst reports, Lake Powell has been on a losing streak for years.
The drop at Lake Powell has stunned old-timers like veteran wildlife biologist Wayne Gustavson.
The lowest I've ever seen it.
He writes a fishing blog that's read regularly by 5,000 lovers of Lake Powell.
I have invested my entire career here. I would like this to still be a lake instead of a big river.
Since the same date a year ago, the lake dropped 44 feet after dropping more than 100 feet earlier. It's now less than 1/4 full.
Holy Toledo.
Tony Arnone was shocked to see Waweep Marina. On floats that go down with the lake, it's squeezed now into a channel where it barely fits.
Never this low. It's been low before, but nothing like this.
Last year's hassles took away some of the fun. Several launch ramps were unusable. It will be worse this year. Only one ramp is in operation for a huge lake.
The lake level used to be way up here on this concrete launch ramp, but as the lake level receded in the last several years, it dropped down, following down a cliff into the Colorado River Canyon. It's going to be a long time before this launch ramp will ever be used again.
The Park Service has managed to keep the gently sloping State Line Auxiliary ramp open by repeatedly extending it with concrete and metal grates. Far in the future, they hope to do major excavations and build ramps that work at extreme low levels. But the highest hope for this boating season is to get just one more ramp in operation.
Hopefully by May 1st, they're going to open up the Bullfrog ramp.
The Division of Wildlife has a new dip tank for decontaminating boats to get rid of clam-like quagga mussels, but they're warning about delays on busy weekends.
The low water with one ramp causes slowdowns.
At the Glen Canyon Dam, the place that started it all, there's a different dimension of the problem. In a place with huge dimensions, we took an elevator down to the innards of the dam. Near the foot of the dam, Bob Martin led us through a gigantic concrete amphitheater. In a room the length of 2 football fields, generators hum away, producing huge amounts of electricity. A digital display counts out $1 or $2 every second, almost $4 billion worth of electricity in a half-century.
And there's 93 companies that buy that federal power, hydropower, and that serves about 3 million people throughout the basin states.
But low water means big problems. The dam generates electricity by taking in water from Lake Powell through giant pipes called penstocks, and it spins the turbines. The lowering lake has already cut efficiency by 25%. If it drops too far, they'll have to shut it down because sucking air could destroy the penstocks.
Just small little pockets of air creating little small explosions, and every time, with each explosion, it pulls a little bit of a metal away from the steel pipe.
The lake just dropped below a major benchmark the government calls the critical target elevation. If it drops 35 feet more,
we won't be able to generate power anymore.
And that would likely mean rising electricity costs around the West. The 35-foot buffer gives the government time to juggle releases from the dam to balance its needs with releases downstream to Lake Mead.
Let's say if we got 1,000 gallons of water, we would have to give 500 of it downstream.
They're also hoping nature will be forgiving and giving. The official forecast says the lake will likely rise about 20 feet during spring runoff. But after a similar forecast last year, it went up only 2 feet. And it's been dropping ever since.
Fish.
But if you're a fisherman,
Come here, little buddy.
you have to believe you'll get lucky someday.
I have great faith that we're going to have the water level come up again, and that'll help the fish. Well, he is bigger than my hand.
John Hollenhorst, KSL 5 News, Lake Powell.
John, thank you. The current forecast for the water year is runoff into Lake Powell will be just 69% of the 30-year average.